This video is going to explain to you, for any term loan, it's going to explain how to calculate the payment, and how to calculate the principal, and how to calculate the interest in each one of the different payments. For illustration purposes and for this class, we're going to assume that the payment is always constant. You will learn that that's not necessarily true in agribusiness 3010, which is the ag finance class. But in here, we're going to assume that we always make the same payment, but the principal and interest will differ. We're also going to assume in here that payments are made annually, and that's probably not typical for most loans, but just for illustration purposes, it makes it quite a bit easier. So we're going to assume that we borrow $45,000 on a term loan, maybe for a new tractor, and we're going to pay for it over 5 years at 6% interest. And we're going to make a payment once a year. So if you were to borrow this money June the 1st, 2015, your first payment will be June 1st, 2016, and then there will be one June 1st, 2017, 2018, and so forth until you make 5 payments. Each time you make a payment, it's going to be the same dollar amount. So when you walk into the bank, you're going to write the banker a check for the same amount of money. But the principal portion, which is paying the banker back his money, and the interest portion, which is paying rent on the money, will differ in each one of those payments. They'll always add to the original payment, but they will be different. The interest will start high and decrease, and the principal will start low and it will increase. All right? So let me show you how this is going to work for this particular loan. Excel has functions already programmed that will calculate the payment and the principal and the interest. And you insert a function by going to this little f of x key right here in Excel. So let me show you how it works. We want to get the annual payment. This is the amount you'll write a check for each year. So I'm going to go here to this function. And when I get this little dialog box, what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to choose financial. And then I'm going to scroll down till I find a function that's called payment. Okay? And when I find that payment function, that function right there will calculate that annual payment for me. All right, now when I click OK, it's going to give me a little dialog box. Now watch how this works. What's the rate? Well, the interest rate's 6%, so I'll simply click on the 6%. This NPER stands for the number of periods. So when I put the cursor here, I'll go click on the 5, so it's got 5 periods. And this present value simply means how much did you borrow. Now, in order to get the number to come out to a positive, I need to start that one with a negative. So I'll put a negative, and then I'll go click on the amount borrowed right here. Okay? And the dialog box is going to preview you the answer. If you don't get a preview right here, you haven't done something correctly. So the payments are going to be $10,682.84 once a year. I click OK. There's that payment. So if you borrowed $45,000 on a 5-year loan at 6%, once a year you're going to walk into the banker and write him a check for $10,682.84. But each one of those payments will have a different amount of principal and interest. But the two together will always add to that $10,682.84. Okay, so how do we do this? Now watch this carefully. The function in Excel for principal is called PPMT. So we're going to insert a function. And what we're going to do, we're going to go to financial, and this time we're going to go find one that says PPMT, and that stands for payment, principal per payment. Right? When I click it, it gives me a dialog box. Now, we need to be sure to understand relative and absolute references, because when I calculate this payment every year, 3 things stay the same: the 45, the 5, and the 6, but which payment will change. So watch what I'm going to do. Rate, I'm going to go click on 6%, and then I'm going to type F4, which simply freezes that in all the calculations. All right, then per, that means which payment are you talking about? So I'm talking about payment 1. So with the cursor here, I go click on number 1, but I will not hit F4 because I want that to adjust as we go down. Number of payments in the loan is 5, and I will hit F4. And the amount borrowed again is a minus the 45,000, and again I'll hit F4. Okay, so I have froze the amount borrowed, the term, and the interest rate. So when I hit enter or OK, there's there's the amount of principal in the first payment. Now, because of the way I created the formula, I can click on this bottom right-hand corner and drag, and now there's the principal in each payment. Let's confirm that that's the original amount borrowed. So what we'll do, we'll simply type equals sum, and we'll sum these five numbers, and you know they have to come out to the $45,000 we borrowed, or it wasn't right. It wasn't correct, because this column is actually paying back the banker. That's paying him his money back. Okay, this column of interest represents the rent on the money. How much interest are you paying in order to use that money? Again, there's an Excel function. We'll go to functions, we'll go to financial, and we're going to look for one that says interest per payment, so it'll be IPMT. All right, we'll click OK, and again, we'll do the same thing. Here's the rate, F4. Here's the which period. Then we'll start with number 1, but I'm not going to F4 it because I want it to adjust. The number of payments is 5, F4, and the present value again is the amount borrowed, and I will F4 that one. Okay. When I click OK, it's going to give me the amount of interest in the first payment. Again, I can click that thing and drag it down because of the way I fixed the formula. See what I did there? I didn't F4 that last one, so I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to F4 that so it freezes it, and now it'll give me the right amount of interest. I'm going to come down here again and sum equals sum, and I'll sum this column, and that number will tell me how much interest I paid over the loan. So now for any term loan that you would have in the farm or ranch business, you're going to have to be able to calculate the payment and the principal and the interest for each one of the different payments. That has to be into the chart of accounts. If you had in your farm business, if you had 5 different loans, term loans, you would have to have 5 different tables that actually calculate the payment and the principal and the interest. Now, of course, over here where it says years, this would probably be dates. In other words, this would be, for example, June 1st, 2015, or the first payment would be due 2016. This would be June 1st, 2017, and so forth. Okay, now this is just part of how the term loans work in the chart of accounts.